Hello Stampers! My name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. And this is my buddy Puccini. He keeps me company in the craft room and I think you've all gotten to know him over the last year. He's about to be 1 year old in another couple of weeks and he's generally in the middle of everything. I have a very fun, fast, little different Christmas card for you. So let's just get started. Here is my card and it opens like this and it has messages on 2 pieces, and let me show you the original card that inspired this. And right now I can't remember the name of the lady that gave this to a friend of mine, and she did this one, and it was for, I think it was just a because card, and so she had it open this way, and these 2 pieces nest on top of one another, so you can't see that there's a second layer until you open the card. And I'll find the name of the woman and have it below the video, even if it takes me a day. So this is my take on that card, and I decided to make mine a little different. The front of mine is exactly the same. It opens the same way, but I thought it would be far more interesting to show another layer behind it. Now you could use a large oval or a big circle. You could do anything, but I thought a rectangle looked particularly good. And I like this design. I used the stamp set called Brightest Glow and just put the word joy on this one. Stamped it a little funny, so we'll change that. Wishing you a season of light and hope, and then a little bit of decoration. And this is the ribbon called Parakeet Party. So this is one of the new ribbons, but I thought it matched the green in this card and added just a little bit of sparkle. And so that's what I did here. Now I may want to add some more bling to this by the time we're done. And this was just a quick prototype. So we're going to make this again, and I'm going to show you exactly how to score it and cut it. We're going to start with a base that is Evening Evergreen. So we're going to start right from the get-go. And we are going to cut our base 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that is just a 1/4 sheet of cardstock, and this is the Evening Evergreen. Then we cut a piece of the Designer Series paper. This comes from the Boughs of Holly Christmas paper, and I like this one because it had lots of different colors in it, and it had both real red and cherry cobbler. And it looks like it has also maybe Poppy Parade. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, this is 5 1/4 by 12, this big sheet. And then what we're going to do is set that in the trimmer here, and we're going to score that at 4 inches. Then we're going to score it at 6 inches. Okay, then we're going to open this up and we're going to score this at 8 inches. Basically, we're going to score it at 4 and then every 2 inches after that. So 8 inches and again at 10 inches. All right, there we go. And that is our scoring completed. Now then, the way this works is that this is going to be the inside of our card and is going to fit on this base. So the very first fold we need to make is at the 4-inch base here. We're going to line that up at the top and the bottom and make sure we get a nice, clean, crisp burnish there. Then it seems to me that the best way to make sure that this folds over right is to fold this next one all the way back over to the edge of this so that it is burnished at exactly the right space. And then we're going to fold this one over this one to match again, because it's real easy with these folds not to get this exactly right. Then we have one last one, and we're going to fold that in here towards the center and burnish that. And I did it specifically that way because if you fold sort of one way and then the other, what happens is what happened on this one, is some of them are a little bit, that one's almost right on, but this one is off, just a hair. And if that doesn't bother you, then it's fine. But if you want perfect fits, then you'll do it the way I did it. So I did over this way first, then fold back and get it exactly on this line. Get that burnished in there perfectly. Then this one back this way to make sure that it's right on the mark. And then you open it and burnish this last one to the inside. And then what you've got when you fold this over, and actually they'll be backwards, so now I'm just going to reverse the folds like this, you get an absolutely perfect edge. And folding it one way and then the other is not a bad idea, because the more you fold that going back one way and the other, the better your card will lay flat. And then once it has its other pieces on it, it does that a little bit anyway. Okay, so we're going to take our quarter sheet of Evening Evergreen, and we're going to take our tape runner and get this piece down. This is a very fast and easy card. So we're going to put some snail on the back of that card and put that into place on our base so that it has the same margin top and bottom and left to right. So that's on there perfectly square. All right. The next piece we need is a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're going to cut a piece 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and that piece is getting ready to go on the inside of our card. Now, also on the inside of our card, we have a piece that is 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut this long piece here at 3/4 of an inch because I'm going to make several of these. And that needs to be by 5. So there's my 5 inches. And we're going to take this piece and add it to the white. And on this, because of the nature of this card, I want this little green piece to be on the inside edge of the card because I don't want it to show when we've got the card closed. So I'm just going to leave, like 1/4 of an inch there, and get that placed down there. And then I'm going to take some of this parakeet party ribbon, just enough to go around this and then to the back. And let me cut that ribbon off. Use my silicone mat, and I'm going to put a little bit of tape runner, dot runner, on this ribbon, just so that I can put it in place across here and it won't move, and I can get it on here straight. So there we go. We've got it basically on here straight, and we're just going to anchor these pieces around the back side. Now that piece is ready to go on the inside of the card. And here we go, this piece now on the inside of the card. I usually have my pieces cut ahead of time, but I thought it might be kind of fun to do it a little bit differently. Now this piece here, move a few of these things out of the way. This piece here is I think it's 2.5 inches square. Yep, 2.5 inches square. So we need a piece of basic white that we are going to cut 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches for the square, and then we need one that is 2.5 inches, and I think my second one is 3.5, but let me make absolutely sure. I'm going to find my card here. It's 3.5. Okay, so we're going to cut this piece to 3.5 inches. There we go. Okay, then we have another piece of Evening Evergreen, and this one needs to be cut. Since that first piece was 2.5, this needs to be cut 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And that makes the mat for our first white piece. Then this piece needs 2.5, which is what this is, or 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, so that basically these pieces are cut 1/4 inch longer than the piece that's going to get stamped. So there we have our main pieces completed. There's our front piece, our second piece, and then put in here all ready to go. All right, then we have this punch that has the leaves and the little flower, and we're going to cut some leaves, and I'm going to slide this in to the punch to get this leaf cut here. And I'm going to move it so that I can see that it's just going to cut the leaf. And there's one. And there's two. So I've got another one here. I'm going to cut that. Okay. Then what I need, because I decided I wanted, that's probably more leaves than I need, but no, because I put one on each layer. Okay, so I've got my 3 leaves cut for each of my layers, and then I have some cherry cobbler here, and I'm going to cut a few of these flowers. And I'm going to cut, I think I need 3 of those as well. And so there it is. You're kind of following along with me right from the get-go. Okay, so I've got those pieces cut, and we have our 2 stamps, the one that says joy and the one that says wishing you a season of hope and light. And I'm going to grab my cherry cobbler ink, and I think I'm going to do my stamping before I put these 2 pieces together. So on this one I want to put the joy, and I want to put it right up here. There we go. Then I have the 2 pieces that I cut. One is the leaf And I'm going to use my dot runner for that one. And a pair of scissors here to just nip off the edge because I don't need that much. And I'm going to set this right down here. And then I'm going to take one of those cherry cobbler flowers and do the same thing. Put that down right in here. Then I have my parakeet party ribbon, and I'm just going to make a very tiny bow to put on the corner of that sentiment. And then I'm going to use a glue dot on that to put it in place. And I like saving these glue dots that come from the paper pumpkins because they come in different sizes, and it's real easy to pick the size that you need. And I'm just going to put down a couple of glue dots here. I'm going to take off the release paper of the first one here, and then put down the second glue dot right next to and overlapping that one just a little bit. Burnish that in place, take off that release paper, and put my little bow right in there on that piece. Now, this piece is ready. See, I'm not quite done with my stamping yet. This piece is ready to go on this matte piece here. So I'm going to put my seal on this piece, and put that on my mat here. Then the second piece is this one, where I'm going to take one of these leaves, and again I'm going to nip off that stem because I really don't need it, and I'm going to put this leaf coming from up here in this corner, and one of these little flowers in here. There we go. And then I'm going to put this piece, oops, well, I didn't do my stamping yet. Okay, so we'll put this piece together first, and then I'll do my stamping. So this is going to go right in here with that mat, and here is my sentiment, and we're going to ink this up really good. There we go. And we're going to put that sort of over to the left side here. Wishing you a season of hope and light. And now the next thing we have to do is attach these pieces to our card. And I'm just going to use seal. It's good and strong. So these two pieces need to go on the inside. Let's finish that first. And so on these, I'm just going to add a little bit of glue and have them coming down from the corner here, just so that we have a little decoration on each of these panels. And there we have a lovely, you know, if you got this in assembly line kind of a run, you could make this card in no time flat. All right, so this one we want to sit on here and come to right about there. So I'm just going to need to make sure that I keep my glue on this side. So I'm going to add a couple of beads of glue on this end. Be generous. And then put that down so that it's straight and matches this edge here, and it's where you want it from top to bottom. There we go. And then when I close this one, I want this joy to be over a bit more so that I see that second layer. So I'm just going to add some seal along this edge here, and I can go actually quite a ways over. That looks like plenty, and put that in place so that it's centered on here, and the margins look good with a piece behind it. Push that into place, and there you go. Isn't that fun? And that was quick and easy. You saw how fast that went from beginning to end. And I was just going to see if we had some bling that might work. And we have these, which are the, let's see if I can tell you what they are. They are the opal rounds for the in colors for this year, and these are the ones for the Evening Evergreen. So I think I'm going to use just a couple of those. And we've got big ones and little ones. And I think I will add a big one, well, maybe just right in here. And then because you can see that second layer and it's not going to impede anything, maybe I'll add one down here. And then maybe a couple of these little ones up here on this furthest inside piece. And there we go. That is my project for the day. So this was my prototype, which is barely glued down. And this is the one we made today. And you can see that manipulating this down and maybe putting something heavy on it to sit overnight would encourage these layers to lay a little bit flatter. That one's already laying flatter than this one. And this was the original prototype by Kathy, and I'll put Kathy's name in the video part below, even if I can't do it immediately. But there we go. That is my project for the day. A fast and easy, fun fold Christmas card that, of course, stands. And isn't that just pretty? I just love the idea of this. It's so simple. You could make a whole bunch of this layer, a whole bunch of this layer, do your pieces like this, then fold and put things together, and believe me, you could get an assembly line, get quite a few of these done with any Christmas paper that you had, and just do the same idea. So thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, well, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. It's always a good time to join Stampin' Up! And if you join today, then your first minimum wouldn't be due until the end of the year. So let's see, my prize draw for the month is always a $60 shopping spree on me, and you put yourself in the drawing by putting an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, and you can get to it through my blog, www.inkandingenuity.com. Thanks again for stopping by, and I will be back with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye!